Notice any difference between these two guys when they address these audiences?
Yes, lots of differences.
Well, like what?
They have different styles. They're very different men.
What else?
Go ahead, tell me.
McCain reads everything. He reads everything except his name.
He does it when he does the Q&A.
He keeps walking back over and looking down at his paper. Come on. He reads everything. Here's a long history in the Bush administration that simply ignores subpoenas from Congress. Not that Congress has gone out of its way to exercise any oversight of the executive branch, but when it does, once in a while, President Bush just laughs out loud and ignores them, like a bunch of unruly kids who are acting up in order to get attention. Well, they got the attention of a federal judge. U.S. District Judge John Bates says the president's top advisors are not immune from congressional subpoenas. Imagine that. Bates says there's no legal basis for the administration's argument and that former legal counsel Harriet Miers, among others, must testify before Congress. Now, Judge Bates says Miers and others can assert executive privilege during that testimony, but they have to show up in person and do it. Democrats call the ruling very good news. They say that Miers, White House Chief of Staff Josh Bolten, and Karl Rove must now testify before Congress. Of course, the White House says it disagrees with the judge's ruling and will decide in the next day or two if it will appeal the decision. Karl Rove has become just the latest Bush administration figure to extend his middle finger to the legislative arm of our government, figuratively speaking, when he defied a subpoena to testify earlier this month. The House Judiciary Committee voted yesterday to cite Rove for contempt of Congress. But this is only a recommendation. Nancy Pelosi will have to decide whether to bring it to a vote of the full House. And we all know how aggressive Pelosi has been when it comes to oversight of the Bush White House. With Madam Speaker, it's all about politics. And besides, they're going on vacation for 5 weeks. Here's the question. What does it mean for President Bush when a federal judge rules his people are not immune from congressional subpoenas? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty file. Post a comment on my blog. Question. What does it mean for President Bush when a federal judge rules his people are not immune from congressional subpoenas? Terry in North Carolina, it's about time this administration's held accountable. These people are guilty of a lot more than breaking into an office in the Watergate Hotel, and those guys all went to prison. It'll be interesting to see what direction this will take. Well, in California, unfortunately, it doesn't mean much. These are congressional subpoenas. Following up on this would mean they might miss that big vacation they have planned. Harry in Kentucky, nothing really. After all, you said it yourself, they can claim executive privilege at the hearing. That's a hearing that produces no more results than ignoring the subpoenas to begin with. Bobby writes, it disabuses them of the notion they're above the law. It means that Bush's cronies, preposterous as it may seem, must abide by the law just like the rest of the American people. Not necessarily. Eric in Mountain View, California, maybe it means we can finally start charging these people for the crimes they've committed over the last 7+ years. I doubt it. I think Rove will just show up, claim executive privilege anyway. But I would hope it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to holding the administration accountable for their actions. Bob in North Carolina says it means someone has finally read the Constitution. The three branches of government are supposed to provide checks and balances. As it stands now, all we have is gotcha politics from the two parties. I think the founders had it right. And Greg in Lancaster, Texas. Now tell me again why Speaker Pelosi took impeachment off the table. I can't tell you. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty file. Look for yours there among hundreds of others.